The opposite of an input decorator is naturally an output decorator. The example shown here is your standard output, nothing fancy about either declaring or utilizing this. We're simply binding a function in our parent component to an event that will be raised in our child component. The interesting part is when we start to use the fact that we may not have anything bound to our output property to control aspects of our component's presentation. Like here, where we're saying, if nothing is bound to the help emitter, don't display the text contact help desk. The important thing to realize is that we can confirm whether or not anything is listening to our emitter and modify our presentation appropriately. This is especially handy when you're creating reusable components and you want the ability to control the presentation based on the status of an emitter subscription. In the example we're going to look at in the demo application in just a moment, the error banner component is one that could be used across multiple applications. Each application can decide if it wants to display the link to contact the help desk simply by whether or not they subscribe to the help emitter. That makes the component much more flexible and keeps control in the parent component, which is where it belongs in this case. The help banner component always displays the same user-friendly error message, and if the application decides to, it can allow the user to ask for more help. Furthermore, the help banner component doesn't need to be concerned about what the error is or how to collect the information to pass to the help desk. All that's handled by the function which is subscribed to the help banner's output property. Let's dig into this further in the demo. Continuing with some fairly basic stuff with a little twist to at least spice things up a little bit, make it a little more interesting, while we're making sure that everybody's on the same page with regard to components. We're going to take a look at a basic output decorator. And to do that, I have this widget that's going to display an error message. So I can toggle the error so that it's turned on, or thrown the error. Then I have this contact help desk link here. And I can make that appear or disappear. And it's probably not doing it the way that you think it is. So I can have the basic error message if I don't have a handler registered. Or if there's something set up to handle it, then it's going to show the contact help desk. When I click on that, in this case it's just throwing up an alert, but this is code running back in the parent component. That allows the error banner component to really do nothing but display the information. It's up to the owning component, the parent component, to figure out what information needs to be collected and how to contact the help desk. So taking a look at this in code, starting in the widget component HTML, you can see I have two instances of my help banner, and an ngIf is going to control which one gets displayed. So basically the difference is it toggles based on whether handler is true or false. The only other difference between these two is you can see the top one has this help function bound to the output property. The button is just toggling the error or toggling the handler. I'm not going to show you those. They just flip back and forth. Taking a look at the TypeScript file, you can see here's the code that gets called. So it's in the parent component, like I said. Taking a look at the help banner, here's the general message that is always displayed. And then below that is our contact help desk link. That's only going to show up if this show help desk link is true because of that ngIf. And when we click on that link, it's going to call this help clicked. So let's take a look at the code for that. This is where things start to get a little interesting. So basic component stuff. Then we have our output decorator on the help property, and that's an event emitter. We set up our help desk link Boolean. And then when that link is clicked, then it's going to emit, just like a regular output property. It emits, and that's what gets called back to here, because this is the function that we have bound to that output property. But the interesting thing is this last line down here in the ng on init. We're only going to show that help desk link, the contact help desk, if something is subscribed to our help output property.